Who's that? Whose is it? Check out this lesson to learn the difference between who is and whose. Hi, I'm Steve, and this is Single Step English. This lesson is for everyone who has trouble understanding the difference between whose and whose. The pronunciation sounds the same, but the meanings are very different. Actually, these often confuse native speakers as well. The first one we are going to study is who is. And we use this one when we want to identify someone. We want to know who that person is. When we use a contraction or an apostrophe, who is changes to whose. For example, you could use the expression, who's that girl? Who's that boy? Who's that guy? The key point is that it must identify a person. For example, who's she? She's my friend. Who's he? He's my classmate. Who is he? Becomes shortened with the contraction, who's he? We can also use the contraction for the past tense of the verb. In this case, the meaning is who has. In everyday conversation, you may hear this question, who's going to dinner tonight? Who will be joining you? You want to identify the person or the people who will be joining you at dinner. However, if I ask this question, whose dinner is this? I want to know which person owns this dinner. And an important point is that there is a noun after the word whose. So when you see the word whose, you know there has to be a noun after it. Whose dinner is this? Another example I could use is, whose apple is this? It's my apple. Do you want it? So an easy way to remember when you see the word whose is this structure. Okay? Whose plus noun. All right? I gave two examples. Whose dinner is this? And whose apple is this? Each word is a noun. Dinner and apple. Both are nouns. If there is no noun or no article, you should use whose. Who is whose? Ooh. I wonder who's at the door. Once more. I wonder who's at the door. In this question, we have the structure of whose plus an article. Who's at the door? And here, at is an article. Who's at? It's not a noun. It's an article. Who's at the door? Here's another situation. Maybe you want to watch TV and you start looking for the TV remote. Where is the remote control? Where is it? You can't find it. And you can ask, who's got the remote? Once more, who's got the remote? And in this structure, whose is followed by a verb, right? Who's got the remote? And here also, it is past tense. It isn't who is got the remote, no. Who has got the remote? And we often shorten that. We use the contraction, who's got the remote? Who has it? Let's take a look at a few examples to check your understanding of who is whose versus whose. Here's a sentence example. The teacher talking with today. Once more. The teacher talking with today. Which one's the best choice here? Is it who is or whose? In this example, we want to know who is. So the answer is whose, with the contraction or apostrophe. Who's the teacher talking with today? Also, the word after whose is an article. Who's the is an article. Who's the teacher talking with today? And that should give you a hint that it cannot be whose, W-H-O-S-E, no. It must be who is. Who's the teacher talking with today? Here's another example. Here you go. Cell phone is ringing. Once more. Cell phone is ringing. In this question, we want to know who is the person that owns the cell phone. Therefore, the best answer is whose. W-H-O-S-E. Whose. Because that means the person owns that cell phone. Okay? Whose cell phone is ringing. And if this ever happens to you, you could use this question. Whose cell phone is ringing? Could you put it on silent mode? Thank you. Another example, you could use this. If you are at a park and there's a dog and the dog is running around, this dog is running and you're thinking, whose dog is this? Whose dog is this? You may start asking people, excuse me, whose dog is this? Is this your dog? You're looking for the owner of the dog. Here is another example to help you. Here you are. Eaten my cake. Once more. Eaten my cake. Is the best choice who is or whose? What do you think? A hint for you is the cake has been eaten. There is no cake. The answer is who has. Who has eaten my cake? And when we're speaking fast, it sounds like who's eaten my cake? There's no more cake. Where did it go? Who's eaten my cake? Now, if the cake is all gone and some time has passed, a few hours or maybe a day, you can use the past tense of the verb. For example, like this. Who ate my cake? That's a very simple way to ask. Who ate my cake? However, if I put the cake on the table and then I left the room just for a short period of time, and then I return to the room, I can say, who's eaten my cake? Who has eaten my cake? It's a short time period. Who's eaten my cake? Also, I could ask, who's taken my cake? Okay? Some people will say that. Who's taken my cake? Who took my cake? To help you use both of these, I put some examples in the description section below. So please check those out, and hopefully those will help you be able to practice and use these in conversation. Hey guys, here's a common question that people really like to ask. Here it is. Who's your favorite musician? Who's your favorite singer? Okay, they're asking who's your favorite singer? Who's your favorite musician? Please write about it in the comment section below. Tell me about it. Who's your favorite singer? Who's your favorite musician? If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button and share this video. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time. I think it's time for me to eat my apple.